Welcome to NDTV's non-stop extensive coverage regarding the US election. Steve Herman now joining us from Florida at the moment. Steve, we're told the Democrats are having a bit of a bad time as far as Florida is concerned.
Florida is really tough for Democrats. I expect Donald Trump will win Florida.
Right.
There are only two of the key states where the polls have closed so far, and that would be North Carolina and Georgia. And I expect close races in both those places.
Right. We also have with us Brad Bannon at the moment. I'd just like to take a quick comment from Brad. Right. I apologize sincerely. Let's go across to Steve Herman at the moment from Florida. Steve, as Brad has just mentioned, the Democrats are expected to have a bit of a tough time in Florida. How are things looking for the Republicans as we speak?
Yes, I'm actually in Georgia, one of the swing states that's north of Florida. And what I can tell you here is this is really the state to watch. Donald Trump is expected to win Florida. Another southern state, North Carolina, is obviously one to watch, where you've indicated that early returns, Kamala Harris, the Democrat, is ahead there. And here in Georgia, in this county that I'm in, Gwinnett County, they had a record turnout today, as they did in a number of other counties in this state. And this is one of those 7 key swing states. And we should be getting some results from here, from this county, at any moment. And this county is really considered a bellwether one to watch, which could indicate which way things go in the entire state of Georgia tonight.
So, right. Steve, in terms of the things that have worked, in terms of the moves specifically that have worked for Donald Trump and Kamala Harris this time around, beginning with Trump, what has really worked for him?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
In terms of the moves, the electoral moves and the policy agenda, the issues, what has really worked for Kamala Harris and Trump respectively this time around?
Well, I think one thing that a lot of Democrat and Republican and independent voters agree on is that they're very concerned about the economy, especially inflation. Although numbers have looked pretty good during the Biden administration on paper, a lot of people say they have not been feeling any relief from the inflation. And of course, the reproductive rights issue, abortion, that is a big one, especially for female voters. And the Democrats have hope that that is what really could make the difference for them in a number, if not all, of these 7 swing states. And then when you talk about Democrats and Republicans and independents again, they'll also both tell you that they feel democracy is at stake with this election.
Right. In fact, that has also been highlighted through exit polls. Brad, come in here. In terms of the exit polls, immigration, the state of the economy, and the fact that democracy is not heading in the right direction has been highlighted. What would you attribute the decline to?
Yeah, one of the things that surprised me about the results of the national exit day polls is that there's much concern among American voters about the state of democracy as there is about the state of the economy. And usually the economy is the dominant issue. And I think many Americans, this is a theme that Kamala Harris pushed very hard especially during the later parts of the campaign. And I think it's a good sign that so many Americans are concerned about the state of democracy, because I feel many American voters feel it would be, we could have a dangerous slide into fascism if Donald Trump serves a second term. So I think the big 2 issues so far in the exit polls are the state of democracy and the state of the economy. And I think that, again, it's so much concern about the state of democracy. I think that's an advantage for Harris, while voters concerned about the economy are probably going to vote for Trump. Most Americans say in the exit polls that at least half of the public think that they're worse off economically than they were 4 years ago under Donald Trump. And that the economy is a big issue for Trump, but the concern about democracy is a big positive for Vice President Harris.
Right. Also, Brad, Americans have been vocal about how they're really upset with the direction the country is heading in. Would you then say Republicans actually have an edge in terms of most of the issues that are seen to matter to voters, specifically the economy and immigration?
I think immigration, what the earlier exit polls suggest is again, the two big issues are democracy and the economy. Way back in the pack, there's a middling level of concern about abortion and immigration. People who are concerned about abortion are going to vote heavily for vice president, and people who are concerned about immigration are going to vote big time for Donald Trump. Reproductive rights is a big issue for the vice president, and immigration is a place where voters fault the Biden-Harris administration, and those voters are going to go big time for Donald Trump, I believe. But again, the two big issues that have been revealed in tonight's exit polls are the economy and the state of democracy.
Right, and in terms of Kamala Harris's focus on personal freedoms, right, before I get to that, I must inform our viewers that CNN has projected that Trump is winning Missouri and also Trump is winning Oklahoma. These are as per CNN's early projections. So besides Kentucky, Indiana, West Virginia, now we have CNN calling Missouri and Oklahoma for Donald Trump. Reverting to Kamala Harris's focus on personal freedoms, Brad, predominantly abortion rights and democracy, has it given her a significant boost among Democratic partisans and moderates and a clear edge over the Republicans?
Yes, it has. Again, this honestly surprised me when I first saw the exit polls an hour ago. I had no idea that there would be this much concern about democracy as voters indicated today. And that's a big advantage for Harris. Abortion's a big advantage for Harris. The two issues that work for Trump are the economy, because people worry about the state of the economy under Joe Biden, and immigration, which is a big plus for the Republican Party. And if you watch Donald Trump's speeches during the campaign, he talks about the immigration problems in every appearance he's made in the last few months. And he probably has a decisive advantage on issue in the same way that Harris has a decisive issue on reproductive rights and abortion.
Well, thanks so much, Brad, for helping us make sense of what's going on as far as Battleground US is concerned. We also have with us Jennifer, who's a Republican strategist, joining us on the broadcast at the moment. Jennifer, there's been a lot of talk about the Harris campaign's struggles with black voters lately. And many say that black voters, specifically male voters, are now leaning towards Donald Trump. Can you lay out what the struggle looks like? And are we talking about black people leaving the Democratic Party en masse? What have you been picking up on from the Republican aides?
I think the question you asked me was about black voters and the Democratic Party. I'm right now at a Democratic watch party here in Florida, and there are a lot of black voters here. Clearly the Democrats don't have many problems, but also earlier today in West Palm Beach, I did see a group of blacks for Trump. And we do know that young black males have been voting for Trump in large numbers, according to a lot of the data we've seen, and that it has been a rather surprise. It's been a challenge for Kamala Harris, and I know she made a specific pitch to those voters. We're going to see what the turnout's like and how she does with those voters, but certainly just from this party here, there are a lot of black Democratic voters here in West Palm Beach, of course, Donald Trump's hometown, and in a state he is likely to win.
Many people have been speaking to say that the Democrats are going to be dealt quite the obstacle race in Florida, and by all means, they should not cling on to hopes of winning there.
Republican states. But let me bring somebody in here who can talk to you about the Democratic perspective. I have with me Dr. Robin Cox-Levitt Franklin here with me. She is here at this watch party waiting to hear results about whether her niece is going to become a state's attorney. She is a lawyer herself. What is it like being a Democrat in Florida today?
Oh, it's challenging. However, it's not that we're against Trump. We're just for Kamala. We're for democracy. You know, as people here in the world, on the planet, we can all live together. We can even agree to disagree. But we do it with respect for each other, with integrity. And that is what Kamala Harris brings to the table. My niece Alexis Cox, that's what she brings to the table. Hard work, due diligence, integrity. And you can go a long way with that. So it's not that we are against anyone. We want to unite everyone and work this thing together.
And what do you think will happen if Donald Trump does win?
I think it'll be sad if there's violence, because I think that what happened on January 6th is just awful. And to see even something slightly like that happening again, and we turn Americans against Americans, that would be dysfunctional as a country and just something that we would not want the world to see as United States of American citizens.
And do you think Kamala Harris has a challenge with black male voters?
The black male voters that I know are Harris voters, okay? However, I don't know what the disconnect is. It may be chauvinistic, it may be a woman. She's black and she's a woman, which has been a double-edged sword in my lifetime as an American.
Thank you.
I understand that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Cox-Powell. Back to you. Obviously, a lot of enthusiasm here as we wait for results to come in.
Well, Jennifer, brace yourself. We will, of course, revert to you for regular updates during the course of the night. All told, Kamala Harris's defenders, in fact, that's something that's been echoed. They see a candidate who, despite an unfavorable national environment, has given her party a chance, a far better situation than Democrats actually found themselves in when Harris took over the nomination just a few short months ago. Joining us from Texas now, we have Huma Iqbal. Huma, what's happening in Texas at the moment? Is it all for Trump, or let's give Kamala Harris a chance sort of spin?
So, as we all know, that Texas has been a red state, but a lot has changed over the years, especially the last 2020, post-pandemic. We are seeing signs of blue coming in and creeping in, especially in places like Houston, Austin, San Antonio. A lot of immigrants, especially a lot of Indian population, resides in these places. I did speak to a few women, and I wish I could get them on air, but they did speak about reproductive rights and how they would vote for banning the abortion laws and changing them largely. And as we all know that. This is one of the biggest and hugest concern that everybody, especially women, face over here, especially in the state of Texas, that they have to travel out, they have to undergo a lot of issues, and just because of the views that the other parties have, the Republican parties have, with the orthodox Christian values of against abortion. So yes, I think Texas does want to see a change, but seems like it that as we're seeing in the results that Trump is leading. So we don't know yet what is going to happen.
Well, thanks so much. We will revert to you for regular updates. Let's also bring in Anand Ahuja, who joins us on NDTV at the moment. Anand is the Vice President for Indian Americans for Trump. Mr. Ahuja, are you excited?
I am always excited, and I am a very optimistic person.
On that note, let me ask you, what is it that Donald Trump brings to the table that you think Kamala Harris doesn't?
Okay, before I respond to that question, there are a couple of points which I observed when your other panelists were talking. First of all, the democracy issue was raised by, I'm not a pollster, but Brad was mentioning about the democracy. In fact, democracy is at stake is one of the biggest concerns of Republicans. If you see the way two impeachments of Trump took place and the false cases were framed against Donald Trump, Democrats never accepted Donald Trump as president of the United States. If you see the riots on January 21st, 2017, at the time of Donald Trump's inauguration, so basically democracy is at stake is actually one of the main concerns of Republicans. Republicans are the one who have been accusing that election is rigged in this particular country. So that's one thing. Secondly, you mentioned about blacks leaving Democratic Party and going towards Republican. There is another very major community, a vote bank, that is of Indians. Indians traditionally, they used to vote for Democrats, and now they have started shifting from Democratic Party to the Republican Party. And one of the reasons for that is...
Why have Indians made that switch from the Democrat to the Republican?
I'm coming to that. So one of the reasons blacks as well as Indians leaving Democratic Party and moving towards the Republican Party is basically because of Donald Trump. If you see Donald Trump's policy, and that was your question to begin with. So Donald Trump brings on the table, number one, the issue in this country is immigration, legal immigration versus illegal immigration. So if you see that Biden's policies were open border, letting all illegal immigrants to come to this country, with the result, if you see legal immigrants, basically, they had to feel that burden. Taxes have gone up because of unnecessary expenditure, what we are incurring on illegal immigrants. Now, the question is, when a person is on H-1B visa legally here, is to apply for green card, has to wait for 120 to 130 years. If I have to bring my brother as a US citizen to the United States, he has to wait for 30 years if he has to come through legal ways. However, the same brother, if I ask him to come illegally in the country, within 1 week, my brother can get work permit. So Donald Trump's policy is that is not against immigrants. He is saying that it should be legal immigration. Especially,
but in that process, while advocating for legal immigration, he has also made some unsubstantiated claims that claim that an inflated number of immigrants came in illegally under Joe Biden, which is not true. There has been
that's fact.
That's
fact. If you see today in United States, first of all, you compare illegal immigrants coming to United States to southern border during Trump's time, during Barack Obama's time, and illegal immigrants coming today through during Biden's time. I live in New York City. New York City is considered as a sanctuary city. If you come here and you see here how many illegal immigrants here, they get everything free. On whose money?
You're from New York, I must also...
As compared to that, give me 1 minute, okay?
Sure.
As compared to that, Trump's policy is that you basically give preference to STEM visa, that is science, technology, engineering, and math category people, professional. To the extent Trump has gone to say that these foreign graduates come here, they get degree from us, and they go to their home country and they become our competitors. Why not to give them green card at the time when we are giving them their diploma? So at the time of convocation, let's give them their green card also. So that's Trump's policy. And we Indians, we are basically very hardworking people. We pay our taxes in time. We are professionals. For us, Trump is basically what he's talking is for the benefit of we Indian. Secondly, if you see US-India relationship also, during Biden's time, Biden invited Modi to White House, but 1 day before that, he invites Khalistani leaders. So I personally believe that was insult to Modi. 1 day before Modi is coming to White House, the Khalistani leaders are invited to White House. If you see Pannu's case, if you see what has happened in Canada, now attack on Hindu temple. So all these policies, if you see, they are leftist policies, which are basically causing a big harm to Indo-US relationship also. So
In fact,
that's
this
another
is something
reason.
that the Trump campaign has been echoing time and again in the run-up to this election as well. I'd also like to rope in Emma Rangaswamy at the moment, who's the founder of Indiaspora. Sir, as things stand, the current state of play, Trump has already claimed that there's been massive cheating happening in Philadelphia just about an hour ago. Trump's team has already begun laying the groundwork for a potential challenge by preemptively accusing the Democrats of cheating. As things stand at the moment, is Donald Trump the right choice to lead the United States of America? What do you think?
I think let the people decide. I don't want to take sides. I'm an independent. I voted today myself in California. And my thing is let the people speak. So accusations have to be proven. So we'll have to wait. The attorney in Pennsylvania said, hey, no screwing around. And let's see if there's anything hanky-panky happens, that action will be taken. So evidence needs to be given on any of these accusations.
Right. In terms of the big issues that have emerged, we know immigration and economy have been the Republicans' sort of strong point. What do you think has really worked for Kamala Harris and her team? What are the moves, besides acting on personal freedoms like abortion rights, what do you think has really worked in her favor in terms of her strengths?
I think several things have stood out. One, obviously, is reproductive rights has been a big deal. Second, she seems to have energized the younger people because there's a definite age difference between the two candidates of 20 years. And that shows when you see these people on television or you meet them. So I think younger people are more energized, women are more energized, and the Indian community, even though the previous gentleman said some people have moved to the Republican side, what we are hearing is a good majority of the Indian Americans are still voting for Kamala Harris.
And I must also say that obviously the Indian Americans and the black vote bank cannot be treated as a monolith. But many political watchers are asserting that the argument that Kamala Harris has underperformed, it can be disputed. But, they have also highlighted how Donald Trump's entire rhetoric has been quite vile this time around. Lots of projections are out. I must run you through CNN's early projections at the moment. CNN has projected Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia going to Trump. As far as Harris is concerned, blue Vermont has been attributed to Harris. The Associated Press has called its first states, and there are no surprises so far. Kamala Harris has become the latest Democrat to actually win Vermont, which is a party stronghold, so no surprises there. Donald Trump has won Indiana, Kentucky, and West Virginia, all red states. The AP has not yet called swing states Georgia and South Carolina, but I must warn you, don't let the early results on election night fool you. Delayed absentee ballot counts in key swing states could tilt how the presidential race ultimately shakes out. So hang on, brace yourselves. We're going to be with you through this bumpy ride, slipping into a very short break for now.